In Seesaw, there are a ton of different ways that you can communicate with your students. Now, the biggest thing we want to remember is that we need to think about social emotional learning, culture responsive teaching, as well as universal design for learning as we're communicating with our students. Because building an effective learning environment that supports and includes all students and their learning styles is best practice. Now, the really nice thing about Seesaw and the multiple ways that you can communicate with students makes that possible. It's a great platform for you to communicate in a variety of ways. For example, the easiest method to direct communicate with individual students is using the inbox tool. Now, clicking on inbox, I'm allowed to add messages that can be sent to students, or if I have family members attached, also to family members. You simply click on the inbox tab and then you can add messages. It also allows you to look at the notifications that are available within Seesaw. So you can send a student announcement to the entire class. The next way to communicate with students is through their journals. So if I was going to go into their journals, I can actually add student work. I could send them a photo, a drawing, a video, files, notes, and links, all of which are communication tools with students. So let's say I was to do a video. Maybe it's just a, hey, I want to see how you're doing video. I can click record, it records, and it sends it to students. Maybe it's a photo. Maybe it's a drawing. Maybe it's notes. Whatever you need to do, you can communicate with students and directly send it to their journals. You could send it to individual students, or you can send it to groups of students, or you can send it to the entire class. So there's two methods for you to communicate. A third method for you to communicate with your students is using the features here with commenting, liking, as well as sending private messages. And that's on individual activities or posts in their journal. So that's a third method to communicate. You may also, just like students, post in the class blog. So if you use Seesaw to create a blog, you're allowed to then communicate with that blog to your students and vice versa. Other ways to communicate are if you send them out to links. For example, you send them to a Google Doc. You could communicate using Google Docs. You could communicate with a link to a Zoom. There are a number of ways to communicate, and Seesaw makes that available. What I appreciate is the availability and ease of access to the products, like voice memos, text, video, picture, drawing, posting links, all of which are different formats of communication that you can do for your students. So thinking about communicating with your students and taking their social emotional needs into consideration, use the discussion directions below and continue to add on to steps and ways that you can communicate.